This is the 2026 Chevrolet Traverse RS, and it is a great mid-size 3-row option. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We're at Chevy Land in Shreveport, Louisiana for today's video. If you want to know more, check out the link down in the description of the video. The exterior color on this model is called Polar White Tri-Coat. Very nice color. I know we don't have as much light to deal with to show it to you today, but hopefully it shows up well on the screen. And you're going to have your full LED lighting. In fact, you're going to have your locator lights here. I'm going to hit that for you real quick just so we can make sure everything does what it's supposed to do. So here is what the locator lights are, that animated effect that you see right there with the daytime running lights. Everything will be full LED daytime running lights. The LED turn signal indicators will also have our LED. They are projector style, but the projector style LED headlights right here as well. And the RS, that stands for Rally Sport for those who may not know, but that's where you're going to see things such as all of the gloss black finish here that we have with the upper and the lower grille. Plenty of air going in for the engine that is under the hood. I'll work my way around over on this side. You're going to have your RS badging right here. That's going to be in a couple of different places. And then down here on the lower portion of the front end, and I'm going to give you all the details later in the video, but you have the sensor right there. There's several of those sensors that are going to be here that are going to allow for all of your safety features to work. And last but not least, right here underneath the bow tie logo, we're going to have our forward-facing camera. Your front camera is going to be there among many other cameras all over this Traverse. 21, let's get that right, 21-inch wheels. You can laugh at me and not with me on that one because of that tongue twist. 21-inch gloss black wheels. This model is going to be front-wheel drive, but if you want all-wheel drive, that is available. We'll have our heated, power-adjustable side view mirrors with turn signal indicators built in. All of those features are going to be here. Blind spot monitoring will also be here. And you're also going to find that they are power folding side view mirrors. So if you're interested in that, that is a good thing to have. Basically everything that I know a lot of you are looking for on your vehicle. Here is your remote. You're going to have lock, unlock, remote start. You can open and close your power tailgate, and you have your panic button there as well. Now, a couple of different things here to talk about. Number one, we're going to have passive entry. That's this chrome button right here. That's going to be on the front door handles and the rear door handles right back here. What happens if the remote, your key fob battery, dies? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to use this button right here. We're going to push that, and that gets the key out. Where do you put that key? Well, let me show you real fast. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. I may not be able to, but I'm going to try. There we go. We're going to take that cover off, and there is the lock. That's where you're going to insert this key. And then once you're inside and everything's good to go, you can just slide that back on just like that. We're going to have the roof rails up top. You can get the crossbars, put those on there. That greatly increases your cargo capacity. Working our way around, once again, we're going to have the auto sense tailgate right here. Notice I'm standing here and it starts to beep and then it just automatically opens. Kind of a nice little feature. That's how your power tailgate works now on these models as of 2025. You don't have to kick your foot under the bumper or anything like that, but we're not finished back here yet. You will find your full LED lighting. You can see those flashing back here with your tail lights. Another RS logo. Told you there was more than one here, and you'll notice that everything is nice and blacked out as far as your gloss black finish goes. And something that I really like here that it seems we're seeing on fewer and fewer vehicles are your exposed exhaust outlets, your tailpipes right here, not hidden away. I think I'd rather have that than what some call a clean look when you don't actually see that back here. Under the hood is the 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. And if you're not familiar with this power plant, you might say, wow, a 4-cylinder for a midsize SUV? Puts out 328 horsepower and 326 pounds-feet of torque. It's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. 0 to 60 should be about 7 seconds, a little under 7 seconds flat. Top speed is supposed to be 147 miles an hour. I don't think we're going to test that. And how about your MPGs? Since it's a smaller motor, let's talk about that. It's a little bit of a glare here, so you may not be able to see it, but we're looking at 20 city, 26 highway, 22 combined, and 4.5 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And how about your gas tank size? It's 19.4 gallons in capacity. On a single tank of gas in the city, you should be able to drive about 388 miles, 504 miles out on the highway, and about 427 miles combined. Now, your towing capacity without the towing package is only 1,500 pounds. However, if you do have the towing package, which this model is equipped with, you're looking at 5,000 pounds. There is a spare tire located here with the vehicle, and to gain access to that spare tire, you will actually follow your instructions right here on the bottom of the floor, and that's going to show you what you need to do to remove this flooring right here as far as this area. Now, that does have a nice amount of additional cargo space, and speaking of cargo space, how much do we have? Well, depending on where you're looking, behind the third row, 22.9 cubic feet, behind the second row, 56.6 cubic feet, and if you maximize everything, you're looking at 97.6 cubic feet. And the way you maximize everything has to do with your two sets of controls right here. Now, this is going to be for the third row. We're going to lower those down real quick and let you see that go down. Maybe not going down all the way, but we can fix that because we can lower the middle row seats, and now everything will go down. And there is how everything looks when it comes to maximizing your cargo space. Now, one thing to note here is that with these buttons, you'll notice that you have the up and the down arrows for your rear seats and only down for the middle row seats. That means that we can raise the rear seats up just like this with the controls, but you're not going to be able to do that with your middle row seats. You'll have to manually put those back in place. And let's talk about what your second and third row passengers are going to find. You'll find the jet black with red accent interior, very nicely done. It has a nice sporty look to it, but it's not too much. Seems to be well balanced. As far as the door panel goes, we're going to have a nice large armrest, plenty of room. I like that it's nice and flat. That's always a good thing. And then we're going to have the door bin down there, plenty of space for storage where that is concerned. As we work our way into the interior, you'll find your panoramic sunroof. This front portion will tilt or slide all the way open, and you have your power shade right here that can be drawn back and forth depending on what you need to do with concealing all of that away. These seats will recline, so you can move them back just like that or set them up like this. And on the side of the seat, there is a button right there. And that button will allow for me to actually get this seat up and out of the way just like that. Makes it super easy to hop on into the third row. And let's see here how we're going to do. So, going to bring the seats back. Now, good thing, while I don't have a lot of leg space right now, as you can see right there, these seats do move back and forth, so they can slide back and forth on the tracks. No big deal where that is concerned. And we're going to have our cup holders right here, a couple of USB ports. The air conditioning vents are located in the roof line area right here. I like that. That's a good thing because it's much closer to the passenger's face. One of the competitors is the Honda Pilot for the Traverse. That's one of my knocks on the Pilot, is that the air conditioning vents are located way down here. This, in my opinion, is a much better design. In the event that your second row passengers forget about your third row passengers, that's what the button you just saw is for. So all I have to do is push that button right here. I say I just had to push it. There we go, 2 times as a charm, and it gets up and out of the way. Now I can get out. As I mentioned, you can move forward and backwards with these seats. There's tons of room here, obviously more than we had in the third row. Armrests are here. I do wish they were a little longer because my arm doesn't fit completely on there unless I have it all the way back like this, and that just isn't comfortable, but that's what you have. Cup holders on the rear of the center console, and then we have everything for our temperature control and fan speed here. You can make a couple of changes to what you have going on, and then we're going to also have our connectivity options. This is a 120 volt power outlet and a couple of USBs. On the sticker price is $60,215. However, if you look right up here, I know it's backwards, but it says $58,215. So there you go. That's the price I guess you're going to pay if you come in here to Chevyland. Let's start here with our rear view mirror. We're going to have the digital rear view mirror. You can use it as a conventional mirror. You also have the ability to go in and make several changes to brightness, angle, zooming in, and all that good stuff, so you can do all that. That's easy to deal with. Up here we'll have the controls for our sunroof. That's for the power shade, and then the sunroof opening and closing, all that good stuff. You got your OnStar emergency. If you need to turn your hazard lights on, there's the button for doing that. And we have a sunglass holder right here. In fact, that's where my sunglasses are at the moment. As far as your space goes, we're going to have the glove box right here. Nice amount of space in there. And then on the passenger side door panel over there, you can see some of that red accent that we were talking about earlier. We're going to have a nice large armrest and door bin, just like we did in the rear. A little bit more space in this particular case. Now, we're going to grab the camera over here real quick, and I'll show you what's going on here on the driver's side. We're going to have our seat memory. That's going to be right here. Your lock and unlock buttons. Everything for controlling your side view mirrors will be here. You can push that button right there, and that will fold your mirrors in. That's how I did that earlier. And then we can control the positioning of the mirrors. Our power windows right here. Here is your button for power parking brake. The auto stop start feature is right there if you want to turn that off or back on, and your drive mode selector. Let's see what we have as far as that goes. Now we're going to start with normal, sport, snow and ice, and then we'll have tow haul mode. That's going to work really well for you. And then we have everything here for our front and rear window wipers and your turn signal lever for those of you that have been to turn signal school and know how to use your blinkers. And we'll have the shifter on the right hand side. That's pretty easy to deal with. You just pull back on that and then you can go into drive. One more time, you can bump that into reverse or into neutral depending on what you want to do. We just pull it back, goes into neutral, and then push the button right there, it goes into park. Here are your steering wheel mounted controls. This is for turning your heated steering wheel on and off, adjusting the radio, all that good stuff, what you're listening to, and volume and all that is going to be there. We can adjust the volume on the rear, actually, of the steering wheel, and you can see that's going on. On the left-hand side, you'll have the same kind of buttons. Let me see if I can show that to you. Kind of hard to show, but that's for going through your stations now, or whatever you're listening to. Now right here is the button for Super Cruise. You're going to have that with this model, so can't show you much with that right now, but it is here. Then everything else for your adaptive cruise control is right there. You also have a power adjustable steering wheel, tilt and telescopically adjustable as far as that goes. And we'll move on to the center screen. Now, a couple of things to note right here. Here's where you're going to adjust your lights, turning those on and off, or just leave it on auto if you want to. You can turn them on if you'd like to. Whatever you want to do, you can do that. And then lane keeping assist is there as far as that goes. And you have your cameras right here. If you want to see all of your different camera views, you've got the overhead view and the standard view, depending on what you want to see. And you do have two different views in a lot of cases. They're standard. We have the front and the rear. All of that's going to be here. Also your side view, and there's two different views where that is concerned. Now, vehicle status is interesting because you can go into maintenance, you can go into trip mode right here and get all of that information, or you can come right here to gauges, and here is what you can do. If you want coolant temperature on the driver's display, you can come right here and select Add to Driver's Display. Hit Continue, and guess what? Now it's up here on the left-hand side right there. So pretty easy to figure out how to deal with that. Now, here's how you remove it. It's simple. Obviously, you just select right here on the screen. That's going to remove that, and it'll work the same way with everything else that you have right here. Now, let's go home, and we're going to actually go right here and show you some of the different settings that are here. You've got your dome light, your power window lockout, the cameras. You can see what all is here. Auto high beams, if you want those on, that's where it's going to be found. You can go in here to more controls. This is your garage door opener. You have 8 potential you can program here. You can just add your remote and follow the directions on the screen. It's pretty easy to deal with. But if you're looking for things like that, you've got your drive and park. That's going to be your park assist right there. Lock the doors and the windows if you want to do that. That's going to do that for you right there on the windows. Or we can go right here with what we have with our power opening gate. If you want it to be a custom opening amount, not all the way, you want to raise it or lower it a little bit, you can do that, or you can turn it off. You can leave it on maximum 2. Now, there's a few different things where that is concerned that we're going to look at. I'm going to go in here into vehicle under settings, and then we're going to come right down here to comfort and convenience. And here is our hands-free exterior storage access. Make sure it's set to open only, because if it's not, if it's set to off, obviously it's not going to work. A lot going on here that I could show you, but we're going to just run through a few things that I know are important. Your Safety features: forward collision avoidance, front pedestrian braking. You're going to have intersection collision braking, side bicyclist alert, lane change alert, park assist with braking, rear cross traffic braking, and then we're going to have our rear pedestrian alert. Now you can go in and make changes to these as well, depending on what you had. Now when you have that little check mark right there, that's going to be a little different than what you can do right here, because as you can see, you can go to alert and brake, or just alert or off. And that alert will be your safety alert seat that's going to let you know what's going on where that's concerned as far as where things are going on. You have your ambient lighting right here. You can adjust how bright it is. You can adjust the color here, and you can turn it on and off up there. And coming back here, you also have Google Assistant that will let you turn a lot of things on and off. It will adjust things for you, whatever it is you need to do. Quite a few different options where that is concerned. And speaking of air conditioning, you do have the option to change it right here on the screen if you want to, but you can also do it with the knob down here. That will do the same thing. So you do have some physical controls for that. The fan speed, all of that's going to be here. But what you do have to do on the screen is turn on either your heated seats or your ventilated seats. And since the ignition isn't on right now, that's not going to work. And how about connectivity? Couple of USB options. There is a 12-volt power outlet right down there. Try and get my arm out of the way. And your wireless charging pad. We're going to have a couple of cup holders right here. And then we're going to have our space that can be concealed away if you want, or you can open that up and take advantage of that space. The center console offers a lot of space. Don't worry, that's not all it is. That's a removable tray right there. And as you can see, that's actually pretty deep down there. One more thing before we take our test drive. Here is a sampling of the Bose 12-speaker audio system here in this Traverse. Try not to make that too long. I hope that helps you out for those that want to hear that. I know some of you request that in my videos, so I try to make that work. But I can tell you, hopefully the mic picked it up well, but it sounds phenomenal in person. Maybe one of the best we've heard. Okay, here we go on our test drive with the Traverse. It has a nice, comfortable ride quality and gets down the road without any trouble. When you need to get up and go, it does a pretty good job of getting up and going. 328 horsepower seems to be good enough. Just depends on what your situation is and what you're used to, I guess. But for what I think it is and what it has under the hood, I don't think it's an issue. I think it seems to work quite well. The seats themselves are pretty comfortable, a little bit flat here in the front seat area, in my opinion. I like to have a little bit more of a form-fitted seat that kind of keeps you in place, but for some people, maybe that's not an issue. I do like the adjustability with the steering wheel and the driver's seat, as far as pretty much anybody of any height should be able to fit here in the driver's seat and get nice and comfortable, and it won't be a problem. Plenty of room in the first and second rows, and yeah, a little bit of room in this third row, but if you're really tall, you definitely need to sit in the first or second rows. You'll be a lot better off that way. But that third row is capable of accommodating adults back there if needed. The technology is easy to learn and use. That's something I really like about Chevrolet. It may look a little challenging if it's something you're not used to, but overall, it really isn't hard to learn. But if you find something that's challenging, well, you're in the right place already to learn about it right here on YouTube. You might even find the tutorial you need on my personal channel, on the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel, and you'll be good to go. The gas pedal and the brake pedal, nice and responsive. Easy to adjust to, I would say, with the brake pedal. It seems to be balanced, we'll say. I drive a lot of different vehicles, and so I have to adjust quickly to the brake pedal in these vehicles, and typically I don't have any trouble with that. That is the same situation here with the Traverse. Easy to see out of. Now you might notice we have a different color than we did earlier. We had to change to a different model, but with that RS, you have all of the great safety features. You have the digital rear view mirror, blind spot monitoring, all of that. And a lot of those same features are here too. But depending on the trim level and depending on what you want, well, you can determine what you want to spend based on the options you're interested in. But overall, as far as a 3-row midsize SUV, I'd say that the Traverse is definitely something to consider. And there it is, the 2026 Chevrolet Traverse RS or Rally Sport, a great mid-size 3-row SUV option. Tell me what you think down in the comments section. I'm curious to receive your feedback. I would like to say a special thanks to our friends at Chevyland here in Shreveport, Louisiana. If you want to know more, remember to check out that link down in the description of the video. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That's very helpful to us. Make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out one of the videos that's on the screen right now, and we'll see you there.